Hello, and congratulations for being selected to serve as one of your chapter's voting delegates. This brief instructional video is intended for voting delegates of Alpha Phi Omega's 2021 National Convention. As with all other components of the 2021 National Convention, the legislative session will be hosted online to handle the fraternity's business, and it's important you're prepared before attending. After tuning in, you can expect to walk away with a better understanding of the legislative session, how to prepare for it, and what to expect during this live event. Please keep in mind, additional information will be sent to voting delegates and other legislative body attendees leading up to the event, such as links for accessing the event platform, voting system access, and more. It's important to look out for and thoroughly read through the instructions to understand the resources, tools, and instructions within the month leading up to the convention. Now, let's get started. We will first begin with a brief session overview to help you understand the format of the legislative session, followed by more detailed information and how attendees can make the most out of the session through preparation. Understanding the event interface and how to best interact with it will come next, before we share additional resources to assist you before and during the event. Serving as a voting delegate is a rewarding leadership experience. Listening to reference committee reports and rationale, along with an understanding of parliamentary procedure, helps make for an efficient legislative session. Key responsibilities of being a voting delegate include being a representative for your chapter, voting based on what you believe is best for the fraternity, paying attention and keeping up with the proceedings, and electing the National Board of Directors. The role of a voting delegate largely impacts not only your chapter, but the national fraternity as well. Throughout the National Convention, voting delegates use their best judgment to direct the future of the fraternity through the review of national policies and procedures and the administration of voting on proposed changes to them. The 2021 legislative session will be hosted Tuesday, December 28th, beginning at 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. The following day, December 29th, beginning at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, will be regional chair elections. This video will cover details about both the legislative session and regional elections, so be sure to watch the video in its entirety. The regional chair elections will be at a predetermined time when the delegates of a given region gather to elect the next regional chair. During this time, the candidates will be named and nominated, and the students will decide who will serve the region as chair for the next 2 years. Region elections are set to begin on December 29th at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. However, be sure to look out for more details about when your specific region elections will be held, as not all will begin at that time. The National Convention will be hosted on a platform that will utilize the Zoom's video conferencing platform. Considering the past 2 years have relied heavily on the technological capabilities of our schools, campuses, and communities, you may already have some experience in Zoom. However, if not, never fear. We will cover the basics of the Zoom interface shortly. Access to the 2021 legislative session will be provided to attendees via email. It's important to keep a close eye on email for communications from Alpha Phi Omega leading up to the event. In addition to your access to the event itself, your login credentials for the voting platform used during the legislative session, called Election Buddy, will be sent to you directly over email as well. You can expect that information in early December. The legislative session will be hosted in Zoom's webinar format and will open for entry 20 minutes before the event start time. Upon entry, attendees will have their audio muted and video turned off. The standing rules will be visible for attendees to view while they wait for the legislative session to begin. Please note, the chat of the legislative session is for business purposes only and should only be used when acting to be called upon during the legislative session, not for general discussion or chatting with peers. Now, you may be wondering how you can best prepare for an event like this, and the answer is pretty straightforward. First things first, the device you're tuning in from should be a trustworthy device that can operate on a reliable internet connection. Additionally, you should be in a space with little to no distractions so you can be fully engaged in the business of the fraternity. Throughout the session, You should always expect to have the event platform open, again, to avoid distractions and to be fully attentive. Remember, you are the voice for your chapter. Be thoughtful in the ways in which you participate. Leading up to the event, email will be the best way for messages from the National Fraternity to reach you. All National Convention communications are archived in the APO mobile resource app, so visit the National Convention tile to make sure you haven't missed anything. If you haven't downloaded the APO mobile resource app yet, do it today. In case we experience any technical difficulties during the legislative session, app notifications will be sent with instructions to help us get back up and running quickly. If you have questions or concerns leading up to the event, contact your sectional chair, regional chair, or the national office. Otherwise, trained volunteers will be available during the live session to answer questions and help troubleshoot any challenges that may arise the day of. Access to the event platform will be unique to every registered attendee of the 2021 National Convention, especially for voting delegates. All registered voting delegates will be invited to create a profile on the event platform, which is where delegates will access the legislative session among other event happenings. It's important to note the legislative session will open for voting delegates 20 minutes before the start time. Attendees will be greeted by rotating images of the standing rules and other important information before the event formally begins. In Zoom, the control panel is along the bottom of the screen for desktop users where you can view your audio settings, the chat, raise hand command, and event exit. Keep in mind, you will be viewed with no video entry upon entry and should not use chat for non-business related items. Here's an example of how to use the chat if you wish to speak, using a green, red, or white card which identifies your purpose in requesting permission to speak. The card color that indicates your participation, your name, and the Greek name of your chapter must all be provided in the chat each time you wish to speak to an issue. From there, you will be called upon when it is your turn to speak. A green card is to be used when you wish to speak in favor of the legislative item. A red card is to be used to speak against the legislative item, and a white card is to be used to make a point of order. Additional event details and expectations will be covered during the proposal of the standing rules. For now, you can use the following resources to help you best prepare for the 2021 National Convention and your duties as a voting delegate during the legislative session. Tune into resources such as brushing up on your parliamentary procedure skills to keep up with the dialogue on the legislative floor, and periodically reviewing the APO website and mobile resource app for more details about the 2021 National Convention as they become available. And as always, in addition to the information shared throughout this video, your sectional chair and regional chair, as well as the national office, can answer questions you may have along the way. Experiencing National Convention as a voting delegate will be a wonderful opportunity to act as a voice for your chapter and help drive the future of the fraternity. In addition to your involvement as a voting delegate, you're encouraged to participate in the learning labs to expand your skill set and the networking opportunities to connect with fellow servant leaders. To view the complete schedule for the 2021 National Convention, please visit www.apo.org/national-convention. It's our hope that this informational video has helped you gain insight into what to expect for the 2021 legislative session and has you excited to participate in the future of Alpha Phi Omega. Thank you for your time, dedication, and service in developing the fraternity.